All right, we got lesson 22 here, multiply and divide fractions. So let's start with multiplying. There's really three steps that we need to make sure we are covering when we multiply fractions. So the first is we're going to multiply numerators. Second, multiply the denominators. Third, probably maybe most importantly, is to reduce, right, or simplify. For whatever reason, guys sometimes make the mistake of cross multiplying. So remember, we only cross multiply when we have two fractions joined together by an equal sign. Okay, so we don't want to do any cross multiplying. Okay, not yet, not yet. So let's do a couple examples. Maybe see if you can pause it and solve these two examples in red, and then we'll come together and go over them. All right. Welcome back. So again, multiply the numerator. So first, I would say I'm going to multiply 1 and times 2. Multiply my denominators, 2 times 3. That's going to get me 2 over 6. And then I got to check to see, can I reduce this? I can. It's going to be 1/3. The other thing I could have done to start is cancel or before multiplying. So my 2's could have canceled, and then 1 times 1 is 1, 1 times 3 is 3. I get 1/3. All right. Next one, let's try canceling first. So I have a 4 and an 8 and a 3 and a 9. I can do a lot of canceling here. 4 becomes a 2. Becomes a 1. My 8 becomes a 2. My 3 becomes a 1, and my 9 becomes a 3. Now let's multiply numerators and denominators. So that would be 1 times 2 over 1 times 3, which equals 2/3. If I didn't cancel before, right, I would have gotten 3 times 8 over 4 times 9, which would have given me 24 over 36. Both of these can be reduced by 12, which would get me 2/3 again. So either way that you want to go, the choice is yours. I usually like to cancel if I recognize it before. All right, so before we get to dividing, we're going to go over reciprocals. So reciprocal, also known as a multiplicative inverse, is just that if we're given x, its reciprocal is 1 over x. Right? So a lot of people say just flip it, just flip the fraction to get its reciprocal, which works a lot of the time. Sometimes it doesn't work too well. But anyway, so my reciprocal of 2/3. See if you can come up, pause it here, see if you can come up with the reciprocal for each of these 7 brown examples. All right, welcome back. So reciprocal of 2/3, right? Technically it would be 1 over 2/3, right? Which would be 1 divided by 2/3, which again is 3 over 2. 3 over 4 is going to be 4 over 3. That's the reciprocal. 2 over 11, the reciprocal of 2 over 11 would be 11 over 2. So reciprocal of 4, right? This is technically 4 over 1, so the reciprocal of 4 is 1 over 4. Reciprocal of 2, again, that's really 2 over 1, so that's going to be 1 over 2. Negatives, right? Doesn't matter. Negative 3 is going to be negative 1 over 3. And negative 1/2 is going to be negative 2 over 1, or just negative 2. Okay. And then we just need to know that every time I multiply a number by its reciprocal, I'm going to get 1, except obviously 0. 0 times 0 is going to be 0. 0 times anything is going to be 0. So just to demonstrate that, 1/3, the reciprocal of 1/3 is 3 over 1. So I multiply those two together, I get 3 over 3, which is equal to 1. 2/3, reciprocal is 3 over 2. Multiply it together, I get 6 over 6, which is 1. 2, reciprocal is 1/2. 2 times 1/2 is 2 over 2, which is equal to 1. Negative 1/3, the reciprocal is negative 3 over 1. So I get negative 3 over negative 3. A negative over a negative is a positive. 3 over 3 is 1. Okay. So that's multiplying and reciprocals. Let's move on to dividing, a little bit trickier. So I know a lot of you guys that have been here and had Mrs. Lippman for 4th grade were introduced to copy, switch, flip. So when we divide fractions, we copy the first number, we switch the sign, and we flip the divisor, right? So 2 divided by 1/8 becomes, copy the first number, 2 stays 2, switch the symbol, dividing becomes multiplying, and then flip the divisor. 1/8 becomes 8/1. So now I'm just going to multiply. 2 times 8/1 is just 2 times 8, which is 16. So 2 divided by 1/8 equals 16. Why don't you pause it here? Try this one. All right, welcome back. So again, copy the first number. So 3 stays 3. Switch this to multiply and flip this second number. So that's going to become 5/3. And now I multiply. Again, this is really 3/1. So 3 times 5 is 15. 1 times 3 is 3. Simplify. I get 5. 5 is my answer. The one I like better, maybe not copy, switch, flip, although guys seem partial to that. Mr. Kubik taught me. When he taught me, he said he came up with the poem or saying, yours is not to reason why, just invert and multiply, right? Meaning invert the second number and then multiply. So instead of dividing, invert the second number and multiply. I guess he was told this or was doing this and then kept doing it to both numbers, right? He kept flipping both numbers. So he came up with a second line. Avoid Mr. Kubik's blunder. Only flip the second number. Okay. So that's kind of how I learned it, but to each his own. Copy, switch, flip, or yours is not to reason why. Choice is yours, my friends. All right, that's lesson 22. See you.